Hello everyone, it's Kavunio. You might be thinking, hey, this isn't Minecraft. You're probably not thinking that, 'cause the last Minecraft video was like 15 billion years ago. I've been uploading Minecraft for like a few months. You probably didn't even come from that video. Okay, it had like 60 views. So I got bored, so I drew this little mage, wizard, witch character. Yep. And I'm gonna be voiceovering most of this. That's kind of new. I've never done that before. Mostly because the audio was horrible. Yeah, it was just bad. Take my word for it. I mean, you don't have to take my word for it. I could play like a short little audio clip. The audio for this is probably bad too, but better than before. I was silent the entire time, just clicking. It was horrible. So yeah, I'm gonna try to talk a bit about what I'm doing and all that stuff. So let's start. Alright, the first thing I did was upload one of my sketches of the character to Clip Studio and turned on the opacity, and now we're just gonna trace it. I'm using this pen I found on the Clip Studio asset store. I'll put it in the description later. I'm just gonna be using it for the outlines because I think it looks kind of nice, but I don't think this is how you're supposed to use it. I really recommend zooming out once you're done with a major section just to see if it looks correct or looks good afar, or just work zoomed out the entire time. I'd recommend that unless you're working on like the face or something. I really wish I worked with a larger canvas or just positioned my sketch better, because like I have no pixels to work with right now, so don't work really small. I gave this character like bigger sleeves, baggier sleeves, I don't know what you'd call it. That was a really good idea though, because I really like drawing wrinkles, so this was pretty fun to do. Her arms looked weird to me, so I'm just remeasuring them here. And they definitely look longer to me. I don't know if they actually are, but I'm gonna change them in a second here. Okay, I'm actually doing the hand first, because I have no idea what the hell is happening here in this sketch. I don't know what I was thinking. I think, actually, I don't really fix it until way later, so spoilers, I guess. Sorry about that. I don't care enough, though. I'm gonna be completely honest, I have no idea how to draw her chest? Yeah, chest. And I'm not Googling it either, so it's staying like that. You know, yeah, it's staying like that. Okay, so here I'm finally fixing the arm. I'm doing that just by duplicating my sketch layer, just in case I mess it up somehow. And just, using the lasso tool and moving her arm back a little. And after tracing that, there we go, we fixed the arm a little bit. It's not perfect, but it's better than before, I'd say. Now another problem has arisen. I think I made her way too short, but this one I'm actually just too lazy to fix, so she's living like that now. Okay, we're wasting too much time in this liner, so I fixed her mouth, finished her robe, and finished her staff, and that's pretty much all the line art. After flipping the canvas around a little, because you always gotta do that, it's time to start coloring. I began by selecting everything outside the character and inverting it and then filling it in with gray. We can use this with a clipping mask or alpha lock to keep our colors inside the line art. This is where I choose my colors. Usually it'd be better to choose them earlier, but it doesn't really matter for this short little sketch. You can always change them later too. Now I'll duplicate the layer and turn it black and white. This will help me see the values better. I'll also darken it by 30 to 50%, because this is how my shadows are gonna look. Here I'll create 3 clipping mask layers on top of the shadows, and I'll name them midtones, AO, which stands for ambient occlusion, and highlights. Now just color pick, increase the brightness by 30 to 50%, and just fill in your midtones. Everything that you don't fill in will be the shadow. Make sure to do this on the midtones layer, by the way, which should be obvious. Okay, it's starting to feel like this video is a tutorial, which I did not mean for that, but I'm just gonna go with it. So once you're done with your midtones, then you can start on ambient occlusion. For this, I just take a soft airbrush and black and just paint in over where some of the darker areas are. This helps give it, like, I don't know how to explain it, just a nicer look. Once you're done with that, we can start with highlights. This part's my favorite, and I feel like it gives it a nice pop. So yeah, just take white, a lasso fill tool, and just start filling in areas where you think light would touch it. It doesn't even have to be realistic, as long as it looks good. I like putting highlights and shadows too, just because it looks nice. I think it's called like bounce lighting. You can search more about it. I think it especially looks good here. Once I'm done with that, I start filling in my midtones with actual colors now. Go back to the colors you saved earlier on a different layer, hopefully, and just color pick and fill in the midtones. Don't fill in the shadows, fill in the midtones. You can just use a fill bucket. Actually, I don't recommend doing that. I'd recommend just using a lasso fill with alpha lock on. I think that works best. If it helps, you can turn off highlights and ambient occlusion. Now color pick your midtones, decrease the brightness and move them towards blue, and just fill in all of the shadows. I'm going to try to go a bit faster here, so now I changed the ambient occlusion color because I don't really like how black works. I usually go with a dark purple. I don't think I made it dark enough in this drawing, but that's okay. Now I use the overlay blending mode on my highlight layer. I've colored the eyes white, and now it's time for some touch-ups, so I'm adding this cool glowing effect using another overlay layer. Now I'll add another cool glowing effect on the entire body, using another overlay layer. I got this really cool shock brush off the Clip Studio asset place, so I'll put that in the description too. Now I'm going to add an outline to soften it up a bit, and now we're pretty much done. I'm just going to do a last few touch-ups, and yeah. I signed my name, and since I added way too much space on the left and right, I just added some lines so I knew how to crop it once I exported it. Overall, this took about 2.5 hours, including the paper sketch. So yeah, I guess it's time for a time-lapse. This time-lapse is also going to be really scuffed. It's going to be more like a speed paint, because I forgot to enable time-lapse on Clip Studio, so sorry about that.